Welcome to Spirit Club, a podcast and community where we talk about what's really running the show, your inner world. I'm Angel, your host, your guide, and your spiritual bestie. Around here, we're all about doing the inner work because your outer reality is only ever a reflection of what's going on within. We practice radical ownership, freedom in faith, surrendering our path to God, and trusting our intuition like our lives depend on it. Because honestly, they do. So take a breath, open your heart, and let's dive in. Welcome back, Spirit Club. Today we have on the show Lilly Walton, interior designer and home alchemist who works with the living energy of your home. And as someone I identify as a homebody, I think the energy of the spaces that we are in is so underrated, so overlooked, so not talked about enough. And so I'm very excited to have this conversation today and to get to know you and your work. Welcome, Lilly.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to have this conversation and just, have the time with you to go deep because I'm so passionate about it. And yeah, it is. Our spaces are, it's such an important part of our lives. Like it's a foundation. Home is so big. And yeah, I think not enough people really make those connections. So
Yeah, it's like the consciousness about it. Like we all love home or not
yeah,
all of us, but many of us love home, but the awareness around the importance of that, I think, is what this episode will bring forward today.
yeah, great.
So I like to start with a little ice breaking, get to know
Mm.
you. And I would love to know your sun, moon, and rising if you know them.
I do. I'm an Aquarius sun. I am a Virgo moon and Taurus rising.
Oh my gosh, you have the same big three as my soon to be husband.
No way.
Yeah.
Wow.
What house is your Aquarius sun in?
Hold on.
Oh
I
no, it would be
believe
the same. It'd be 10th. Yeah,
10.
it'd be 10th because you're Taurus rising. Oh my gosh, crazy.
Wait, is he the same like in that order?
Nah, exactly. Yes.
Whoa.
Yeah. I
What's
feel
his
like
birthday?
I immediately know you. What's his what?
What's his birthday?
January 22nd.
That's my birthday. Wait, this is
19
crazy.
What? January 22nd, 1981. You don't have to share your birth year, but I'll
That's my birth. That is my birth year. Shut up.
shut up. And that means for you guys to have the same rising, it must be like within minutes.
I'm
This
getting
has
chills
never
all
happened.
over. This is so
I'm
wild.
sweating. What's happening? I don't know how to take this information. This is wow. Okay.
I've never met any like I don't even think I've met anyone who shares my same birthday, let alone like just all of that.
Down to the minute? Yeah. I've never met anyone who has the same big three, to be honest. Like,
Same.
wow, Lily, I feel like
Wow. You
I
must feel like you
immediately know
know
you a
me.
lot better. Wow. Okay.
That is
Okay.
so wild. Yeah.
Wild. Okay. Well, this is meant to be.
I was born in New York City. I don't know where your husband was born, but
Hmm. We're Canadian, so he was born in Calgary, Alberta.
wow. Well, we were coming into the world right at the same time.
Wild. Oh my gosh. I would love to know, it'll help me understand him better. Tell me something. Tell me something about your big three that like really helped you learn about yourself or be understood by others.
Mm. Um, I really identify with all of those signs deeply. I mean, Taurus, I feel like my connection to beauty and the earth and like physical reality, like making, you know, I feel like I have this big, expansive Aquarius side to me that's very tapped in and um but it's like how do I then connect that into the physical reality? And that's my Taurus.
Mm-hmm.
Like bringing these visions, these ideas, these, into that's really what, interior design is. Um, so I feel very connected to that. My Virgo moon, I I'm someone who like I love and I need order, but sometimes I have a hard time getting there myself
Mm,
to
interesting.
create that structure. But once I have it in place, I can just like relax and I'm so happy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's so interesting, like just listening to what you described and seeing the parallels and not parallels between you two, because I'm like, he has the same, but
Yeah.
the way his Taurus rising shows up is different than the ways yours does, and so fascinating. And I'm curious, just because, what is your does your partner like have sort of like a similarities, or is he the contrast to your?
Such a contrast. He is so fiery. He has a lot of fire.
Oh, interesting.
Um, Leo, I'm trying to remember now what his rising. I can't remember off the top of my head what his, but I actually we recently kind of were looking at our charts and just yeah, for him it was like so much fire.
Fire, interesting. Okay.
Yeah,
Hmm. Fascinating. Well, you and I will have to geek out about this
I know.
offline, because
Totally.
this has not happened in history. Okay. Okay, thank you for sharing. What a great note to start off on.
Yeah.
My other question, just to get real immediately, is this podcast is all about doing the inner work. Doing the inner work to create in the world that which we want to see. And so I'm curious, in your life, what inner work is alive and present today?
Oh wow. Um so much. I mean, I really feel like once I kind of embarked on this spiritual path, that there was really no other option. And it just felt like, on the whole, I'm really geared towards growth and, yeah, just understanding myself on a deeper level. So I feel like that is sort of just the undercurrent of how I live life. Currently, I, yeah, I really am just, I practice what I preach with the
Mhm.
home. Like my home is always guiding me and teaching me. And so if there are things that are not working, in the home, or something's kind of, we're having a hard time making a decision about something, or we can't, or there's a room that's like we're not using, like why are we not using that room? What is the, there's just the deeper layers to
Mhm.
everything that I really I, that's the lens through which I kind of see my work in the world. So um I'm constantly a student. I'm on that path of self-discovery, of questioning. But yeah, for me, it's really big, yeah, with my home. my land, and it's all connected.
It's super interesting when you said what is my home telling me? It made me realize that like I had the assumption that it was the other way around, that the way I'm feeling is then reflected in the home. And I'm sure that that is also true.
Yeah.
But in listening to you, I'm like, oh, so also like, similar to the way our bodies could give us cues, our
Hmm.
home can give us cues.
Yeah.
Interesting. Can you give me an
Yeah.
example?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, just to kind of elaborate on that a bit, like we all have our energetic field, our aura, our biofield. And I see the home as sort of an amplifier of that field. And so it's sort of anything that's going on with us, if we're maybe we're kind of stuck in some loops in our mind, or our minds are really chaotic, or that often is then reflected in the home. It's sort of this outer expression that's happening. So when you see that, it, in the physical reality in the home, you can kind of then start to, trace it
Ask
back
questions.
and say,
Yeah.
okay, something deeper is going on. Are you
Mhm.
feeling that way inside? And that's why it's reflecting in that way outside.
Mhm.
So it is really, I do see it as this reciprocal relationship that are, that, yeah, you definitely can, yeah, it just goes both ways, if that makes sense.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, I think it's because so often I imagine we are completely blind to, we all have our blind spots. We just do, you know? And so it's nice to have other things to cue us than our
Yeah,
own selves because we can be so blind to our own selves.
absolutely.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, I'm just like looking around my home. I'm like, what do you, oh, you got a lot to tell me. Okay. Anyway, before we get into that, so I'm curious, you know, you're an interior designer, and maybe I'm making an assumption here, but if it seems like from learning a bit about you that that's what you have been doing, and then this other layer of layering in the intuition and the reading of energy sort of layered on top of interior design. Is that accurate?
Yes.
Amazing. How did
Yeah.
that come to be? Because I'm sure
Oh,
that's a beautiful
yeah.
story.
It
Share it.
was, well, it's, like these things, they're kind of these, I feel like it was a bit of a winding path to get there. It was never revealed all at once.
Of course.
And it certainly was not easy to just kind of like do this big pivot, although
Mhm.
it also at the same time has felt kind of this natural segue. Um, yeah, I was designing homes in Southern California where I live. I've had my own business for 7 years, I want to say. And yeah, it has been going really well. And I've, had an incredible career doing it. I love doing it. Um, and kind of, alongside that path, I was on this spiritual path that was kind of taking me, you know, uh, into all different sorts of places that I just kept saying yes to because I was curious and I was learning and I was really just following the breadcrumbs.
Mhm.
Um, and I took soul reading method, which I know you did as well with Nikki, and um, I just started to really tap into my intuition in a big way. And it started to feel, I was getting so pulled down this spiritual path and so lit up by it that it kind of felt a little jarring to be going to having this like regular job
Interesting. Yeah.
that felt, even though I loved it and I was good at it and it was bringing, you know, I was like the breadwinner for our family and it was all these things. I just felt, it kind of felt like I'm pretending I'm like not, that there's this whole other side to me that's like not
Integrated.
integrated into that. And it was feeling very, yeah, it just felt not, I just didn't feel fully authentically me. And so but I did kind of have this deep trust that these two paths would connect at some point. And I really had to just kind of let myself be in the trust, in the surrender. Your time will come when the clarity will come when these paths are meant to connect, but it's definitely uncomfortable at times to be in that of like, I want to know it now. I want to know how this looks, what my life is going to be like. What am I doing?
Yes, I'm sure everyone listening is like, yep,
Yep,
yes.
yep. But it was really a lesson in just deep trust, deep surrender, releasing control. And, it's as soon as you do that, I think things become, you're out of your mind, that's the critical mind that's trying to control and make sense of it all. And yeah, once I just really fully surrendered to it, I feel like the path became clearer. But I needed to create that, I guess, more spaciousness,
Trust. Yeah.
trust.
And especially for something so unique and creative to come forward, it's like we can't, if we control it into something, it's not going to be that. So we have to, like you say, like give it the space to become the beautiful thing that it's become.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. So it started with kind of it started for me with really getting out of my mind and back into my body. And it was just such a lesson in like, oh yeah, the body has so much wisdom. And, I started going to ecstatic dance.
Yep.
And it started as just sort of a like, oh, I'm gonna check this out. And then it really became like this weekly practice where I would just like empty out the mind, drop fully into my body, and then tap so deeply into my intuition. And that became sort of my guiding, my compass. It would just help me every Thursday. I'd be like, okay, I'm good. I'm just like, this is my next step. Don't get overwhelmed with like the 10 steps ahead or the big picture that, just,
Yeah.
okay, let's just take this next step. So yeah, it's a practice. And, but yeah, I'm so glad I followed it.
Yeah, and I can see, like, knowing your big three now and having the parallel of my soon-to-be husband, I can see how getting into the body would be so valuable. Aquarius sun, it's a lot of ideas, a lot of visioning. Virgo moon, it's a lot in the mind. So, and then, or, like dropping into the body as a tool. and then ultimately to the space
Yeah.
as a tool. So, okay, so then you start layering in readings into the work that you do. I'm curious, how is that received by clients, by your, the audience that you already had? I mean, it's California, so I guess it's a little bit more open. I don't know. Maybe that's an assumption, but how is that received?
Yeah, so it I mean it's been received really well. I think everyone who knows me, they're kind of like, "Oh, yeah, this makes total sense."
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
Like a duh. And you're like, why didn't you guys tell me that?
I
I'm feeling
know.
bad.
Um, but I had at the time I was sort of exploring, I felt like there was definitely like in the last year or two where I had my design clients where, with some of them I felt like, okay, they're totally safe to like explore, I don't know, maybe these little bit more like this isn't what they signed up for necessarily, but I'm gonna like explore this with them and see
Mhm,
if it resonates
mhm.
and if they like it and you know, they're gonna be game.
Yeah.
And so I had some guinea pigs
Mhm.
kind of built in, some clients that were willing to, because I would get really strong messages from the homes. Like that's like that I was working on. So I was feeling um this one home I was working on, I the home was just like really speaking to me and sharing a lot with me and wanted me to, I mean, I feel like the homes are the ones guiding me, like really wanted me to do sort of like a home blessing and clearing for these clients. Um, so yeah, I just proposed that to them. Like, what do you guys think?
Yeah.
Is this something you would want?
Yeah.
If it resonates, like I would love to do this for you and kind of explore this new side of my work. And yeah, luckily they were fully in and
Mhm.
yeah, so I got to kind of it it was really a process of like, well, maybe this is how my work is, like maybe it's taking me over here, maybe maybe it's this, like I was sort of in this just incubation um period of how am I best meant to serve,
Mhm. Mhm.
how am I best meant to, yeah, use my gifts that have come online, that I'm to help people connect deeper with their spaces and
Mhm.
um heal. Sometimes our homes can be such sources of stress or of um with the projects or their whatever it is, it can kind of get strained.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you can kind of forget like, oh wow, this home, I really love all that it does, all that it holds, and it does so much for us. And so it's kind of about, yeah, helping people connect back to that relationship.
Mhm. Mhm. Okay, so then that really leads me to like, you know, what are people most often? Obviously, we know what people are coming for when they're asking for design, but when folks come to you for, I think you call it a home alchemy session,
Hmm.
folks come to you for to read the energy of their home to help them reconnect. Like, what are they experiencing that's making them like want this? What are some of the examples of like what might be going on for them in their home?
Um, yeah, so they might just feel a little like disconnected from their space. Like they don't they don't feel inspired. They don't feel, or they feel like their space sort of reflects a past version of
Mhm.
themselves. And they've done all this inner work and they want to bring their space into this new kind of identity. And so it's
Right.
helping kind of, yeah, helping like release that version of themselves to really step into who they're becoming, who they're expanding into. So often homes can kind of, yeah, get stuck in the past,
Oh my gosh. Yes. Now that
right?
you're saying it, because most of the time when folks like, let's say, decorate or whatever, it's like a one and done. But
Yeah,
like your personal evolution is not
it's
one
not.
and
It's like we're evolving all the time.
done. Yeah.
And so, yeah, it's just like those little shifts of anchoring in whatever this new identity you're calling in. I'll give an example of my own home. I I had kind of put off I feel like our closets as women are like they're really important parts of our home, right? It's so much about identity, and it's such a place where we can kind of get stuck in the past if we're not really tending to it. And I'm this happens to me all the time where I just like don't really put much energy into my closet. It kind of piles up. It's like clothes that I haven't worn in forever. Anyway, it was something so simple as um, one afternoon, my sister-in-law came over and she was like, "Oh, we need to go through your closet." And she's like really good at, doing that. And then my
That's right.
middle daughter like came and she's really good at that. And she got so excited. And they just helped me go through. And I can't even tell you like the shift of just like walking into my closet and having like it feel just like, oh, I feel like I can get dressed now and feel more put together and feel like it really did something for my identity and what I was calling
Mhm.
in. I was like, yes, I want to be the woman that is excited to get dressed every day and is inspired to put outfits together. And I couldn't really see it when it was like overstuffed and filled with clothes I wasn't that were sort of like stuck, in the past versions of me. But I was so it was like my identity was kind of wanting to shift into this more, yeah, this next level, and they helped me get there. And then I was so excited by it then I, I was like, okay, I'm gonna do now my sock drawer, which was like overstuffed, full of like old, but I got so excited to organize my sock drawer, folding my socks perfectly in. And I swear to God, like this one drawer has made such an impact. I open it and I go, yes, I am the woman that has like the nice sock drawer that is perfectly folded. It really tickles my Virgo moon. This is what I
Yeah.
said. It's like
Very
sometimes
true.
I need help getting there, but once
Mm.
I do, I am so happy. And now I'm like, oh yeah, look at me. Like I'm like, I have a sock drawer that is like beautiful and organized instead of this like, mismatched, overstuffed.
Mhm. Mhm. It's
So
making me realize as you speak that, our spaces also can be used in our manifestation process, are used in our manifestation process, because manifestation really is identity. Who are you being? And if you're being crazy sock drawer person. Is that who
Yeah,
you want to be? If it is who you want to be, fine. But if
fine.
who you're wanting to be
Yes.
is not reflected in your closet, your home, your whatever, then that is like a powerful place to start.
Yeah. Yeah. And in my group program, which I just finished.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, 13 weeks of leading these women. And really at the end of the day, that's what we're doing. It's sort of this slow build manifestation of using your home to anchor in a new identity and having the space and the time to really feel into who she is, how she wants to feel in her home,
Mhm.
and bridging that gap between, how they're feeling in their space currently and how they want to feel, and kind of helping them get there. So, yeah, it is really tied into identity work, manifestation.
Mhm. Mhm.
It's all part of it.
It's just making me see how overlooked. It's also so like funny when I look at our home right now. We moved here from Canada. Um, it's a rental. It's not our furniture. We sold everything. We weren't about to rebuy everything. And it's so interesting. It's really like if I try to step back and look at it, thinking about this conversation, I
Mhm.
see that it's reflecting our transition. It is reflecting we are in transition.
Yeah.
Everything is a little bit in transition. Nothing is really rooted, which is
Mhm.
okay. That is the reality.
Yeah.
But I don't want it. I wouldn't want it to go on like that. I don't want to be in transition for forever. And so I will certainly be working with the home on that. It's really beautiful.
Yeah, and maybe
Um,
asking the home, like in a meditation, how during this period of transition, what are some things that can help you feel more rooted in this
mhm,
in between?
Okay, yes. Thank you. Thank you for that. Just mark that down. Um, and it makes me think, so, you and I both practice reading energy. I'm generally reading people or like um, the energy of something that they're asking about. Every once in a while, I'm reading space. Um, And I would say, like, if I were to feel into, this home, for example, I can feel into the energy of the home. And then, of course, there's our energy in the home. Do you find them, like, when you're reading the energy of a space, can you feel the energy of the space versus the energy of the people living in the space? Or are they like one and the same to you? How does that feel?
Yeah, they are. I do feel like they are um, connected.
Hmm.
It's usually I'm kind of, yeah, it's sort of a dance between the two, I would say. It's kind of, I see this home as this bigger circle, this bigger field. But then it's like the person is part of it. So it's sort of, it feels like the people are not separate from the home. It's definitely like a, yeah, reading both.
And do you ever find that sometimes like a space is just not a fit for someone's energy or something like that? Like I've heard people feel that way in their spaces.
Yes. Yes, I think for sure. I think I would want, I haven't I haven't come across that in a reading, but I definitely I definitely know there are places that just aren't like the right match for someone. And I think
Mhm.
I would, if I came across that, like help them uncover that for themselves, help guide them to that decision instead of just telling them that flat out, if that makes
Of
sense.
course. Yeah, 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 of course. But so then it sounds like more often than not, if someone's feeling discomfort or dis-ease in their home, it sounds to me like it's something that's reparable, and that there are things that like you pick up on that you can do to create harmony. Is that fair to
Yes.
say? Yeah.
Yes.
That's
Yeah,
nice.
yes, for me, it's not, um, I'm trying to create more harmony, more coherence in the field, between the inhabitants and their space, um, as best as best as we can, and not, yeah, not without saying like, oh, you need like a giant remodel or you need to move homes or
Burn the place down. No.
get out,
Yeah.
move.
Um, yeah. Okay. Okay. So I'm sure something that comes up, because it's space, is clearing. I'm sure I don't know, I imagine it's part of what you do personally, part of
Yeah,
what you do in your work. Um, Clearing space and that energetic hygiene is, I don't know, an integral part of the way I move in the world.
yeah, same.
And I feel like it's something really accessible, like listeners, whether they're like into spiritual work or not, can kind of resonate with the idea of needing to clear a space. So I would love if you could share different ways that you help folks clear spaces, that you clear your own space, stuff like that.
Yeah, of course. So I kind of do space clearings, um, in different ways depending on the home and what's needed, and there's ways you can clear a space sort of in the physical space and using, um, smoke, Palo Santo, sound, um, opening up all the windows, like letting it air out, letting it breathe. So there are ways we can kind of tend to it on the physical plane, which are great. And I, do those. But I find then what I'm really helping people tap into is how do we clear it on the energetic,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
so it's really about like guiding them into a meditation and calling, calling forth the energy of their home, and guiding them through a process of sort of clearing, all the unseen stuff that sort of lingers in a home and that can kind of, create, yeah, like subtle friction in a space, or just kind of add to things feeling a little more stuck or not having a lot of movement. Um, so that's sort of that's, what I help people do, is really like clearing on that level. And of course, in my program, that's like we really go deep into that. I mean, we're clearing, like we are scrubbing.
Love it. That
We are
sounds so
like
good.
like a deep, deep, deep clean. Um, because then you have the space to really call in and align the home with the frequency that you want and that you're calling in.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Mm-hmm.
you can't skip, you can't just do that without clearing out what needs to be cleared out.
Mm-hmm.
It's a huge part of it. But for people listening that just want to kind of do a general clearing of their home, I love starting at the front door and kind of going clockwise around the home, and say you were using Palo Santo, just, going through each room, kind of, using the smoke to smudge and asking all unwanted energies to please leave. And you can kind of, yeah, just slowly have an intention of clearing and go through your home and um, do it that way. If you don't want smoke in your home, you can, yeah, use any type of sound. You can use it, even clap your hands.
Right.
Sound just really breaks up that kind of stagnant energy that's just,
Mhm.
yeah. So those are some of the tools I use. And yeah, I mean, I love opening up all the doors and windows just to like let the home breathe. That's like such an easy thing to do. Anyone can do
Feel
it.
it. I think
Yeah,
anyone listening is like, yes. And I would add like cleaning, like
cleaning.
we all feel so, I mean, not we all, I don't know. I don't know if my partner could agree. No, he'll agree. But we all feel so good when we do clean and your windows are open and why do we feel so good? Because we're also clearing.
Yeah, yeah, I know. I feel like anytime, yes, like I would say like a great thing to just add in. Yeah, after you do, after you've been cleaning your home or just adding that extra layer of opening the windows or doing a little smudging, and just it really resets the space. Um,
Reset. What a good word. Yeah.
Reset. Yeah, I find like my home just needs a good reset,
Hmm.
whether it's like I kind of on Sundays, I just feel like that's my reset home day.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, it's just it's and create and doing that, you all those little things just kind of build towards having a deeper connection with your home.
Right,
You start
right.
to like, oh, my home needs a reset. Like, oh, this is what it's needing right now.
Right. And like me responding to that is like showing love, is building trust, is building relationship, like you say.
Yeah.
I have to tell you, Lily, when we first moved here, I have never had a space speak to me so much, tell me it needs clearing so loudly. Like,
Mm.
back in Canada, I would clear the space for sure, and especially my office because I do energy work through my office. But
Yeah.
here it was like my frequency wasn't high enough because just things would happen. Like I don't even know if I should share because some of them were just so wild. But certainly things like I don't know, we would start to have really poor sleep, me, myself, and the dog. And I'm talking like nightmares. I'm talking like sounds like, and it's Greece. So we're like, okay, this land has a lot of history. There's a lot going on here. There's just more going on.
Yeah.
There was like at one point, my my partner, he was meaning to make bone broth and he put the bones on the stove and turned it up and forgot about it. And we left the house. And we
Oh,
came back to smoke, a smoke-filled home. Now these homes are made of concrete, so like it's not gonna burn down, but smoke. And it was like the home was like, oh, you're gonna skip clearing? Well, allow me to just smoke out the whole place. And then we had
oh
to take
God.
curtains down, upholstery, wash ceilings. Like it gets so loud when I'm not on it. And I
Yeah.
feel like now we're almost a year in. Now we're like starting to harmonize a bit more. But gosh, in the
Yeah.
beginning, I was like, I can't seem to clear or protect enough for this place.
Yeah. Well, sometimes when, you know, especially you being in a new country, and it's a whole, it's so much newness, energetically, just a fully different, yeah, vibration of the land, of the country, of everything. And it takes time to yeah,
Yeah.
to understand what you're working with and to develop that relationship. So,
Exactly. Precisely.
and
Yes. And
I have
there was
done,
no like, there was no skipping that. That was just gonna,
yeah,
so you're moving across the world. And now that I'm talking to you and I'm thinking about the home reflecting us and our state, well, of course, like our nervous systems were and probably still are like not totally in a place of safety, in a place of like at at rest it takes a long time to feel that way in a new country where you don't know people and you don't speak the language and you don't know how to do a basic thing like fill your car with gas. Like,
yeah,
takes time.
yeah.
um and so protection, let's just talk a minute about protection. Is protection something that you work with as well with your spaces?
Yeah, it is. I mean, I don't come at protection through the lens of fear necessarily. Like it's not like protection because it's yeah, I'm like coming at it from an angle of love and respect for the
Mm-hmm.
space. And yes, we need to create these kind of energetic boundaries. And so yes, I do protection, and it's something I'm like guided to do in my meditations for people. But I never want to come at it from the lens of
You're in
I-
danger. Protect.
yeah, and like kind of creating more fear, because of
Mm-hmm.
like, oh, we need to protect, because it's so scary out there and there's all, then you're kind of like giving more energy to the fear.
I mean, I'm loving the way that you're putting this, to be honest. And and the respect piece. I'm like, oh yeah. It's like, I don't know, the same way I put a seatbelt on, perhaps. Maybe you could think about it that way. Like the same way we just like respect
Yeah,
our bodies and the
exactly.
limitations of our bodies, and that, that we cannot control the external, and how
Hmm.
can we respect? I love that.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's a good, I like that analogy. That's great. Yeah.
And so, what are some ways that you personally protect or with your clients?
Yeah, so um I would say I use different crystals for protection. Um, Also in my meditations, I f- I'm really guided to almost, yeah, kind of what's the word? Guided to kind of encapsulate the land with crystals. So
Cool.
it's like, yeah, it's kind of like in the energetic field, working with crystals to kind of protect the land and create that boundary. Um, that's mostly how I am guided to do it. And yeah, and then I in my own home, or if I'm, yeah, depending on the space I'm working with, um different crystals in the entryway, different crystals, yeah, different placements that can offer protection and just um yeah, I feel like the entryway is kind of a a main point for that.
Right, right. I mean, seems obvious, but then like needs to be said. I'm like, as you're saying it, I'm like, right, duh, the entrance. Yeah. Yeah. We put at all the entrances, we put I painted some evil eyes. Evil eyes, a big
Hmm.
thing out here.
Yeah.
And like I said, there was a lot going on with the space in the beginning. And I was like, all right, I put a crystal grid. and I painted these evil eyes to put at all the entrances. And I do find that when they're like messed with, let's say like we have a big storm or my cat decides to turn it into a toy, it's generally again like the space speaking to me like, okay, time to clear and like reset and
Yeah.
put up your. But funny story about the crystal grid. So I put it around, like the property. And we had a friend staying kind of nearby, and he's like, guys, check out this cool rock I found on your property. He just thought this like rose quartz was just a normal part of the. I was like, yeah, no, I know. I put that there. Found it in the wild.
Oh, that's good.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Ah,
Well, Lily,
that's good.
I love this conversation and I love the way that you work with space. It's really like I want to sit down and journal. Like I'm excited and also
Yeah.
to talk to my partner about it. Um, and I guess I would just say, is there anything else that you would leave listeners with, who maybe hadn't thought about this before until today?
Yeah, I think maybe it's just home can be really fun. It can be this like playful relationship, that it doesn't have to be about getting it right, like, oh, I have to find the perfect thing. It's like, just play around with it. Have it be this ever evolving thing. Don't let it become static. Don't just do it and then think like, okay, that's done. And now, even just small little, I'm going to like rearrange those little books on that coffee table. Like those, I'm going to just do new books over there, or I'm going to get a new candle or fresh flowers or whatever it is that's like just keeping you kind of it helps just like keep the energy alive in a space,
I love
and
it.
not to feel kind of yeah, that kind of dull or you know not lifeless, but that's dramatic, but it
Expired. Kind of
kind of
expired. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, or yeah, tired, all those things that
Mhm.
and it so it really can be small shifts that just like help move the needle, and then you feel better. It's like all of a sudden you're like, oh, wow, I feel better in my
Mm,
space. And then it just feeds off of each other, in
right.
this beautiful way, and helps build and grow. And so yeah, I think people that think that they're not creative or they don't have the touch, I would say just like first of all, you have to let that go, because I do think everyone can, everyone can kind of deserves to like be in a space they love and have fun with it. So yeah, I would just say um, to bring in that kind of playful spark, that creative, playful spark, and see where it takes you.
Mm. Thank you for that. I feel like that was a message for me. Because I'm realizing that I get really functional.
Hmm.
Yeah, I can be a little functional about my space. And then
Yeah,
I'm like, okay, you're performing your function, stay there. Don't change because that's too much work for me. And now I'm like, okay, like what if it could be fun? What if it could be fun? The same way like I love getting dressed. I love being creative in the way that I dress. And I'm thinking about my best friend who's also into interior design, and she'll just like switch up, I don't know, the location of her couch. And I'll walk in and I'll be like, this whole space, what's going on? The whole space has changed. And all she did was like move her couch to a new place, but she feels that and wants things to move. And yeah, I feel like allowing it to be fun and not right is a good permission that I need.
yeah. I mean, I I'm saying it to myself as well, because that was coming, as an interior designer. It's like we work to get spaces kind of right.
Right.
In a way, it's like we're trying to we're getting them done, every detail like done. And while that's that is our job. At a certain point we have to get it to a place where then like we pass it to our clients, but then they have to actually live in it and make it theirs and put their touch on it and bring their life into it. And so yeah, it's advice for me too, for my own home. It's been such a journey of like releasing, yeah, that perfection, or just having more fun, more playfulness, more permission to just like follow, I don't know, follow the nudges and know that, it's not permanent. You can live with it like that, and then if you want to go back, like switch it back up. At least you
Right.
kind of went down that path and like
Yeah.
explored,
Yeah. And by doing so, like, not to make this bigger than it needs to be, but how, it teaches you to do that in life, like if we're afraid to make changes because they're permanent and it's, well, we're going to do the same thing in making changes in our lives.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh,
It is.
God.
It is such a mirror.
It is such a
The
mirror.
home is a mirror. Yeah.
Well, thank you for reflecting it to us, to me.
Yeah.
Um, I feel very expanded and wanting to sit with this. And I would like to finish with, how can folks work with you?
Yeah. So you can head to my website, which is lillywalton.com, and I have info on my one-on-one sessions, my home alchemy sessions, and then I have Sacred Home Alchemy, which is my 13-week course that I talked about. That starts or the next round is in September.
Perfect
I have all my
timing.
design work there. I mean, it's all, everything's there. And then, on Instagram, I'm Lilly Walton Design. And yeah, that's where you can
Amazing.
find
Yes.
me. And thank you so much. Thank you for having me. This was,
Oh, it's my pleasure. I feel, like I said, very expanded, and I will link everything. And thank you for sharing your story and your experience, and just like coming into your gifts and allowing them to like, just like following your heart, because I think that is the way the world is moving, and the more folks that follow their heart and talk about it, the more the rest of us can.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Thank you. I, at times it's scary because you don't see, uh, you're kind of creating a new box. It's like,
Yeah.
I don't see this box. Like who does this? Like, how am I creating this?
Right.
But, you know, I, I've also learned, like, if you don't see the box, like, create your own box, and then
Aquarius, I
know that
believe you.
you can break that box and make a new box. Like, what are these boxes? Like, no. Yeah, just follow your heart.
Yeah. Amazing. Creating a new box. All right. Well, here's to creating a new box, a new blueprint.
Mhm.
And thank you again, Lily. And Spirit Club, thank you. We will see you soon. Much love. Bye.